Welcome to Audiobook segment. Every story you'll hear is crafted from the ground up, written, produced, and narrated entirely by us. Nothing recycled, nothing repurposed, just original work made for this channel. So grab your headphones, settle in, and enjoy today's audiobook. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve everything they want while others struggle to get even small things done? The secret isn't luck, talent, or opportunity, it's habits. The small actions we repeat every day create the life we live. A tiny habit, repeated consistently, can either build success or lead to missed opportunities. In this audiobook, we are going to explore the power of daily habits. You will learn how habits shape your mind, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. From waking up with purpose to planning your day effectively, every choice counts. By understanding habits, you can design your life instead of letting life design you. We will also talk about how to break bad habits and replace them with productive ones. Habits are the bridge between goals and results. You can have the clearest goal in your mind, but without the right habits it will remain just a dream. This audiobook will guide you step by step to create habits that multiply your efforts and bring long-term results. Remember, no habit is too small to matter. The key is consistency. Even tiny changes, when practiced daily, can lead to extraordinary transformation. Whether you want to improve your health, your productivity, or your mindset, this audiobook will give you the tools and mindset to make daily habits your greatest ally. By the end of this audiobook, you will understand how habits form, why they are so powerful, and how to harness them to become the best version of yourself. Prepare to take control, create positive routines, and unlock the full potential of your daily actions. Your journey to lasting success starts here. Chapter 1. Understanding habits. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. They are the small decisions we make every day, repeated so often that they shape who we are, what we do, and even how we think. Many people underestimate the power of habits because they seem so ordinary, but the truth is, habits are the building blocks of success and failure. If you want to create a life of purpose and achievement, the first step is understanding how habits work. At its simplest, a habit is a behavior that becomes automatic through repetition. When you first learn a new action, it requires conscious thought. For example, when you start exercising, you have to remind yourself to put on your workout clothes, warm up, and follow the routine. Over time, this sequence of actions becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it anymore. Your brain creates neural pathways that make the behavior effortless. This is why habits are so powerful. Once a behavior becomes a habit, it requires little mental energy to maintain, yet it can create lasting results. Understanding habits also means recognizing their components. Most habits have three key parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is the trigger that starts the habit. It could be waking up in the morning, finishing a meal, or even feeling stressed. The routine is the action you take, the behavior that follows the cue. The reward is the benefit or pleasure you get from completing the routine. The brain learns this loop: cue, routine, reward. Over time, the habit becomes automatic because the brain associates the cue with the reward. Not all habits are helpful. Of course, bad habits, like procrastination, excessive screen time, or unhealthy eating, follow the same loop. The difference is that they provide short-term pleasure, but long-term consequences. Recognizing which habits are working for you and which are holding you back is essential for growth. By observing your daily routines and reflecting on the outcomes, you can identify patterns that either support or sabotage your goals. The power of habits is not only in their ability to shape actions, but also in how they influence identity. Every time you perform a habit, you reinforce a part of your self-image. For example, when you exercise regularly, you start to see yourself as a healthy and disciplined person. When you read every day, you begin to think of yourself as someone who values knowledge and learning. Habits do more than create results. They shape who you believe you are. This is why long-lasting change comes from focusing on identity-based habits rather than just outcome-based habits. Identity-based habits are the ones that answer the question, who do I want to become? Instead of setting a goal like I want to run 5 miles, an identity-based approach would be I am a runner. When you identify as the type of person who performs the desired action, your brain naturally aligns your behaviors with that identity. This makes it easier to maintain habits even when motivation is low, because your actions are consistent with who you see yourself as being. Breaking bad habits is equally about understanding their structure. You can interrupt the cue, change the routine, or replace the reward. For example, if you feel the urge to scroll social media late at night, the cue, you can replace the routine with reading a book or meditating, providing a similar sense of relaxation. The reward, by experimenting with different routines while keeping the same cue and reward, you can gradually rewire your behavior toward more productive habits. Another crucial point about habits is that small changes are more sustainable than drastic ones. People often fail because they try to overhaul their entire life at once, waking up at 5 a.m., exercising for an hour, meditating, journaling, and eating perfectly. While ambitious, this approach is unsustainable and leads to burnout. Habits grow through incremental improvements. Start small, like reading 1 page per day or doing 5 minutes of exercise. As the behavior becomes automatic, gradually increase the effort. Consistency beats intensity when it comes to habits. Habits also thrive when you track them. Monitoring your behavior reinforces accountability and motivates you to continue. Simple methods like habit trackers, journals, or mobile apps can make a significant difference. Seeing your progress visually strengthens your commitment and makes it harder to skip a day. Humans respond to patterns and streaks, so leverage this natural tendency to build momentum. Finally, it is important to understand that habits are not just about doing, they are about thinking. Your mindset, your beliefs, and your environment all influence how effectively you form and maintain habits. Surround yourself with reminders, cues, and people who encourage the behaviors you want to adopt. Create spaces that facilitate good habits and remove obstacles that lead to bad ones. By designing your environment thoughtfully, you make the path to growth smoother and more automatic. In conclusion, habits are the foundation of personal growth. Understanding how they work, their cues, routines, rewards, and connection to identity is the first step in taking control of your life. Once you master the art of habits, you can intentionally design the actions, routines, and mindset that will lead you towards success. Habits may seem small, but their cumulative effect is extraordinary. They are the secret weapon of anyone who achieves their goals consistently. By paying attention to what you do every day and shaping it with purpose, you unlock the power to transform your life, one habit at a time. Chapter 2: How Habits Shape Your Life. Every single day, your habits quietly shape your life. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, habits determine your actions, your mindset, and ultimately, the results you achieve. The truth is, most people underestimate the power of daily habits because they are small and almost invisible. Yet it is the repetition of these small actions over time that creates the reality you experience. Think about the people you admire most. Successful athletes, business leaders, artists, or writers. What sets them apart is rarely a single act of brilliance. It is the consistent habits they practice every day. They may read, exercise, plan their day, or practice their craft regularly. These habits compound over weeks, months, and years, resulting in massive skill, knowledge, and personal growth. In other words, your daily habits determine the trajectory of your life. Habits influence your life in both visible and invisible ways. Visible habits are easy to notice: exercise routines, reading, writing, or eating patterns. Invisible habits are equally important, but less obvious. They include your thought patterns, emotional responses, time management strategies, and even the way you handle stress. Invisible habits quietly shape your perspective, confidence, and decision-making. The people who master both visible and invisible habits are the ones who consistently achieve their goals. The impact of habits can be explained through the concept of compounding. Just like money grows when invested wisely, actions compound over time. A small habit repeated daily creates massive change in the long term. For example, reading 10 pages every day may seem insignificant, but in a year that's over 3,600 pages, or about 12 to 15 books. Similarly, exercising for 10 minutes daily builds strength, endurance, and health over time. Small, consistent actions, when compounded, produce extraordinary results. Habits also influence the decisions we make. When a behavior becomes automatic, it frees up mental energy for other important tasks. For instance, if brushing your teeth, making your bed, or preparing a healthy breakfast becomes automatic, you no longer spend time or energy deciding whether to do it. That energy can then be directed toward more complex tasks, like solving problems, learning new skills, or planning your day. In this way, good habits create mental space for growth and creativity. On the other hand, bad habits drain energy, reduce focus, and limit your potential. Habits like procrastination, unhealthy eating, or excessive screen time may feel harmless in the moment, but over time they reduce productivity, confidence, and life satisfaction. One day of distraction is fine, but when repeated consistently, it becomes a pattern that shapes your identity in negative ways. The good news is, just as positive habits compound, so can habits that replace negative ones. Another way habits shape your life is through identity reinforcement. Each habit reinforces a belief about who you are. When you exercise regularly, you begin to see yourself as a healthy and disciplined person. When you study daily, you start to identify as someone who is committed and knowledgeable. Habits are not just actions, they are declarations about your identity. Your consistent behaviors answer the question, "Who am I?" And the answer you give yourself influences every decision you make. Habits also set the boundaries for your future opportunities. If you cultivate habits that promote learning, health, and productivity, doors will open naturally. You will find yourself more prepared to handle challenges, seize opportunities, and build meaningful relationships. Conversely, habits that drain energy or encourage short-term pleasure can limit your growth and reduce your potential. Essentially, your habits are the invisible gatekeepers of the life you create. It is important to understand that habits are easier to maintain when they are aligned with your goals and values. A habit practiced out of obligation or external pressure will likely fade over time. However, when a habit is connected to your personal vision, it becomes meaningful and sustainable. For example, journaling daily to track progress on your personal growth goals is easier to maintain than journaling because someone told you it is good. Purpose-driven habits last longer and produce greater results. Consistency is the secret ingredient. People often overestimate the importance of motivation and underestimate the importance of repetition. Motivation comes and goes, but consistent habits endure. Some days you may feel tired, uninspired, or distracted, but the habit itself carries you forward. Over time, the accumulation of repeated actions outweighs occasional bursts of motivation, and you see real, lasting change. Finally, habits shape your environment and social influence. When you practice good habits, you attract people who value growth, productivity, and positivity. Your habits influence those around you, and being in a growth-oriented environment reinforces your own actions. Similarly, bad habits may connect you with people who reinforce distractions or negative patterns. Choosing your environment carefully and surrounding yourself with supportive influences amplifies the effect of positive habits. In summary, habits are the invisible force that shapes your life. They compound over time, influence your identity, determine your decisions, and control the boundaries of your future. By understanding the profound impact of habits, you can take control of your daily actions and design a life that reflects your goals, values, and potential. Every small choice matters, and the habits you cultivate today will define who you become tomorrow. Chapter 3: The Science of Habit Formation. Habits are not just random behaviors, they are a Understanding how habits form can give you control over your actions and make building new habits much easier. Your brain has a natural way of learning behaviors, and by using this knowledge, you can develop habits that support your goals and remove habits that hold you back. At the heart of habit formation is something called the habit loop. This loop has three parts: cue, routine, and reward. The cue is the trigger that tells your brain to start a behavior. It can be anything: waking up, finishing a meal, feeling stressed, or even seeing a notification. The routine is the behavior itself, like brushing your teeth, going for a walk, or reading a book. The reward is what your brain gets out of the behavior, like satisfaction, pleasure, or relief. Over time, your brain learns to connect the cue with the routine because of the reward. This loop makes the behavior automatic, which is why habits are so powerful. Another important concept is neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to change and adapt in response to experiences. Every time you perform a new behavior, your brain creates new neural pathways. Repeating the behavior strengthens these pathways, making the action easier and more automatic. That is why consistent practice is crucial. The more you repeat a habit, the more your brain rewires itself to make that habit a natural part of your life. Habits also form more easily when they are simple and specific. Trying to create complicated habits can overwhelm your brain and make it difficult to stick with them. For example, instead of saying, "I will get fit," a specific habit would be, "I will do 10 push-ups every morning after brushing my teeth." By being clear and concrete, your brain knows exactly what to do, making the habit easier to follow. The role of repetition cannot be overstated. Habits are built through consistent repetition over time. Experts suggest that it takes anywhere from 21 to 66 days to form a new habit, depending on the complexity of the behavior. The key is not perfection, but consistency. Missing a day is okay, but returning to the habit without guilt is important. Over time, repeated action strengthens the habit loop and makes it nearly automatic. Environment plays a major role in habit formation as well. Your surroundings can either encourage or discourage habits. For example, if you keep unhealthy snacks on your desk, it is harder to resist them. If you place your workout clothes where you can see them in the morning, it becomes easier to exercise. Designing your environment to support positive habits and remove triggers for negative ones is one of the most effective strategies for habit success. Motivation helps you start a habit, but habits rely on routine and structure to sustain themselves. Motivation fluctuates, but the habit loop continues even when you feel unmotivated. That is why focusing on the system, the daily routines and environment is more important than relying solely on willpower or inspiration. Creating a supportive system reduces the mental effort required to perform the habit, making it sustainable over time. Another important principle is habit stacking. This involves linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already brush your teeth every morning, you could stack the habit of drinking a glass of water right after. The existing habit serves as a cue, making it easier for the new behavior to become automatic. Habit stacking takes advantage of already established routines to build new positive habits faster and more effectively. Understanding the psychology behind habits is equally important. The brain is wired to seek rewards and avoid pain. This is why immediate rewards are so powerful. To form a habit, it helps to associate the behavior with a positive reward, even if it is small. For example, after completing a study session, you might allow yourself to enjoy a favorite snack or a short break. Positive reinforcement strengthens the habit loop and encourages your brain to repeat the behavior. Breaking habits works in a similar way, but in reverse. To break a negative habit, you can change the cue, alter the routine, or remove the reward. For instance, if you find yourself snacking when stressed, you can replace snacking with a different routine, like going for a walk or doing deep breathing exercises. The key is to satisfy the underlying desire without engaging in the negative behavior. Over time, the brain learns the new loop and the old habit fades. Finally, habits are closely tied to identity. When you perform actions repeatedly, they shape how you see yourself. A person who exercises daily thinks of themselves as fit and disciplined. Someone who writes or reads regularly identifies as a learner. By focusing on identity-based habits, you reinforce behaviors that align with the person you want to become. This makes habit formation much more powerful than simply trying to achieve a goal. In conclusion, the science of habit formation reveals that habits are not random. They are predictable and controllable. By understanding the habit loop, neuroplasticity, repetition, environment, stacking, rewards, and identity, you can take deliberate control over your actions. Habits shape your life, define your identity, and determine the results you achieve. Once you understand the science, you no longer leave your life to chance. You can design it intentionally, one habit at a time. Chapter 4: Building Good Habits. Creating good habits is one of the most important steps toward personal growth and success. While bad habits can creep into your life without much thought, good habits require conscious effort and planning. The good news is, building habits is a skill that anyone can learn. With understanding, patience, and consistency, you can design habits that support your goals and improve your life every single day. The first step in building good habits is clarity. You need to know exactly what habit you want to form and why it is important. Vague intentions like "I want to be healthier" are hard to maintain because your brain does not have a clear signal to act upon. Instead, be specific. "I will walk for 20 minutes every morning," or "I will drink a glass of water after waking up." Specificity creates focus and gives your brain a clear direction. Knowing the reason behind the habit strengthens your commitment. Ask yourself, why does this habit matter to me? What will I gain if I stick to it consistently? Next, start small. Many people fail when they try to build habits that are too ambitious from the beginning. You may want to meditate for an hour or exercise intensely every day, but starting big often leads to burnout or discouragement. Small habits are easier to maintain and allow your brain to adjust gradually. For example, start with 5 minutes of meditation or 10 minutes of walking. Once the behavior becomes automatic, gradually increase the time or intensity. This approach ensures consistency, which is the foundation of long-term habit success. Consistency is more important than perfection. It is better to do a small habit every day than to do a large habit sporadically. Missing a day is not failure, it is an opportunity to learn and continue. Over time, repeated actions become part of your identity. This is why starting small and staying consistent is far more effective than trying to change everything at once. Remember, habits are like muscles, they grow stronger with repeated use. Another powerful strategy is habit stacking, where you link a new habit to an existing one. Your existing habits act as triggers, making it easier to adopt new behaviors. For example, if you already brush your teeth every morning, you can stack a habit of stretching or drinking water right after. This method reduces friction and makes the new habit feel natural. Habit stacking uses the brain's existing patterns to your advantage. Environment plays a critical role in habit formation. You can design your surroundings to support your desired behavior and remove obstacles that make the habit difficult. For instance, if you want to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables visible and remove junk food from easy access. If you want to read more, place a book on your desk or nightstand. The easier it is to do the habit, the more likely you are to follow through. Conversely, making bad habits harder to do, like removing your phone from your bedroom at night, reduces the chances of slipping back into them. Tracking your progress is also highly effective. Keeping a visual record of your habits, like a checklist, calendar, or habit tracker, reinforces your commitment. Humans naturally respond to patterns and streaks, so seeing consecutive days of success motivates you to continue. Celebrating small wins also strengthens your brain's reward system, making the habit feel satisfying and encouraging repetition. Understanding the emotional aspect of habits is essential. Many people start habits when they feel motivated, but motivation fluctuates. Habits that last are tied to emotion, purpose, and identity rather than just willpower. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Aligning your habits with your identity creates a strong internal drive. If you see yourself as a healthy, disciplined, or focused person, your habits naturally reinforce this self-image. Building good habits also requires patience. It takes time for your brain to rewire and for behaviors to become automatic. Studies show that on average a habit takes between 21 and 66 days to form. Depending on complexity, some habits may take longer. The key is to persist, adjust when necessary, and remain committed even when progress feels slow. Growth is rarely instant, but it is steady and compounding. Accountability can increase your chances of success. Share your goals with a friend, mentor, or community. Having someone to check in with creates external pressure and encouragement. Additionally, joining groups or online communities with similar objectives provides support and inspiration. You are more likely to stick with habits when you feel connected to others who value growth and progress. Finally, flexibility is important. Life is unpredictable, and some days will challenge your routines. Adapt, don't abandon. If circumstances prevent you from completing a habit, find a way to adjust or shorten it rather than giving up entirely. For example, if you cannot complete a full workout, do a shorter version. Maintaining the habit connection is more important than perfection. In summary, building good habits is a deliberate process that involves clarity, small steps, consistency, habit stacking, environmental design, tracking, emotional alignment, patience, accountability, and flexibility. Good habits are the building blocks of success, and by designing them intentionally, you can take control of your actions, reinforce your identity, and achieve long-term growth. Habits shape your life, and every small choice matters. Start today, focus on repetition, and over time, you will become the person you aspire to be, one habit at a time. Chapter 5: Breaking Bad Habits. Breaking bad habits is one of the most challenging, yet most rewarding steps toward personal growth. Bad habits can silently control your life, waste your time, and limit your potential. The good news is that habits are not permanent. With the right strategies, understanding, and patience, you can replace destructive behaviors with positive ones. The key lies in awareness, planning, and consistent action. The first step to breaking any habit is awareness. You cannot change what you do not notice. Start by observing your daily routines and identifying patterns. When do you engage in the habit? What triggers it? Is it stress, boredom, or a certain environment? Understanding the cue, the event or feeling that initiates the habit, is essential. Once you know what triggers the behavior, you can begin to plan how to respond differently. Next, recognize the reward you receive from the habit. Even bad habits serve a purpose. They satisfy a desire, relieve stress, or provide temporary comfort. For example, someone who snacks late at night may feel relief from stress or boredom. A smoker may feel relaxation or escape. Identifying the reward helps you find alternative behaviors that satisfy the same need without causing harm. The goal is not just to stop the habit, but to replace it with a healthier routine that delivers a similar reward. Replace, don't just remove. Many people try to quit a bad habit by sheer willpower alone, but this rarely works in the long term. Instead, focus on replacing the habit with a positive alternative. For instance, if you want to stop scrolling social media mindlessly, replace it with reading a chapter of a book, journaling, or taking a walk. Your brain still gets the reward of relaxation or entertainment, but through a constructive behavior. Replacements make the process less painful and more sustainable. Breaking bad habits also requires changing your environment. Your surroundings can either reinforce or discourage behaviors. If you want to reduce junk food consumption, do not keep snacks within easy reach. If you want to cut down on screen time, remove notifications, place your phone in another room, or set screen limits. By making bad habits harder to perform and good habits easier, you increase your chances of success. The environment acts as a silent partner in shaping behavior. Gradual reduction is another effective approach. Trying to quit a habit cold turkey can lead to stress, frustration, and relapse. Instead, reduce the behavior in small, manageable steps. For example, if you watch TV for 5 hours daily, try reducing it to 4, then 3, and so on. Gradual reduction allows your brain and body to adjust while maintaining progress. Celebrate small wins along the way. Even tiny improvements count toward long-term success. Accountability is a powerful tool for breaking habits. Share your goal with a friend, mentor, or community. Ask them to check in on your progress or provide encouragement. Accountability increases your commitment and provides support when motivation wanes. Additionally, joining groups or online communities with similar goals helps you learn strategies, gain tips, and stay motivated. You are more likely to succeed when you are not alone in your journey. Mindfulness and self-reflection are essential in breaking habits. Pay attention to your thoughts, emotions, and triggers. Often, habits occur automatically because your mind is on autopilot. By practicing mindfulness, you can pause, observe, and choose a different response. Simple techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or journaling help create awareness and interrupt the automatic loop of bad habits. Over time, mindfulness strengthens self-control and decision-making. It is also important to expect setbacks. Breaking a habit is rarely linear. You may slip up or return to old patterns temporarily. This does not mean failure. It is part of the learning process. The key is to analyze what caused the slip, adjust your strategy, and continue. Treat setbacks as lessons, not punishments. Persistence is more important than perfection. Focus on identity change rather than just behavior change. People often try to stop a habit without addressing the underlying identity. For example, instead of saying, "I want to stop being lazy," focus on, "I am a disciplined and active person." When your habits align with the person you want to become, the motivation to maintain new behaviors increases naturally. Identity-based changes are far more sustainable than simply trying to modify actions. Finally, reinforce progress with positive rewards. Celebrate milestones, however small, to strengthen the brain's association with success. Rewarding yourself for sticking to a new routine helps the habit loop shift from negative to positive behaviors. Over time, new habits become automatic, old habits fade, and your life shifts toward growth and achievement. In conclusion, breaking bad habits requires awareness, understanding of triggers and rewards, environmental design, gradual reduction, mindfulness, accountability, identity alignment, and positive reinforcement. No habit is permanent, and with intentional action, even deeply ingrained behaviors can be transformed. Every step you take toward replacing a bad habit with a positive one brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. Habits shape your life, and by breaking the bad ones, you create space for growth, success, and lasting change. Chapter 6. The role of motivation in habit building. Motivation is the spark that starts action, but it is not the fuel that keeps habits going. Understanding motivation is crucial when building habits, because while it helps you begin, it is your routines and systems that sustain you. Motivation is the why behind your actions, and habits are the how. Together, they form a powerful combination for personal growth. Motivation can come from different sources. There is intrinsic motivation, which comes from within. It is when you engage in an activity because you enjoy it, find it meaningful, or it aligns with your personal values. For example, someone may run every morning because they enjoy the feeling of energy and health. Intrinsic motivation is more sustainable because it is tied to personal satisfaction. Then there is extrinsic motivation, which comes from outside rewards, like praise, recognition, or prizes. A person might exercise to get compliments or work hard to receive a promotion. Extrinsic motivation can be powerful for short-term action, but is less reliable in maintaining habits over the long term. When external rewards disappear, the motivation often fades. The most successful habits usually combine intrinsic and extrinsic factors, but intrinsic motivation is key for consistency. Motivation is often high at the beginning of a new habit. You feel excited, energized, and ready to change. This is sometimes called the honeymoon phase. However, motivation naturally fluctuates. Some days you may feel energetic and inspired, while other days you may feel tired, distracted, or unmotivated. If you rely solely on motivation, you are likely to abandon the habit when your energy dips. This is why building systems and routines is crucial. Habits carry you forward when motivation is low. Understanding your personal why strengthens motivation. Ask yourself, why do I want to develop this habit? What is the long-term benefit? For instance, if your goal is to study every day, remind yourself that consistent learning builds skills, confidence, and opportunities for success. When your reason is clear and meaningful, you are more likely to persist, even when motivation temporarily drops. Motivation is also closely tied to emotion. People are more likely to act when they feel a strong emotional connection to the outcome. Positive emotions like excitement, hope, and pride can energize you to begin a new habit. Negative emotions such as fear or regret can also push you to take action, but they are less sustainable. Cultivating positive emotional associations with your habits makes them easier to maintain. Another critical aspect is visualization. Imagining the results of your habits, like completing a project, achieving a goal, or feeling healthier, can strengthen motivation. Visualization creates a mental connection between the action and the desired outcome, which can increase your drive. Many successful people use this technique to stay focused and inspired, especially during challenging moments. Motivation can also be boosted by tracking progress. When you see tangible results, even small ones, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that creates feelings of pleasure and reward. For example, checking off a daily habit on a tracker or noticing improvement in performance reinforces your commitment. This small feedback loop helps motivation stay alive and supports habit formation. Accountability further enhances motivation. Sharing your goals with a friend, mentor, or group encourages commitment. Knowing that someone else is aware of your progress can push you to stay consistent. Positive reinforcement from others, combined with personal pride, strengthens your resolve. Motivation often grows stronger when shared, especially in supportive environments. Despite the importance of motivation, experts emphasize that habits succeed through routine and repetition, not inspiration alone. Motivation is like lighting a match. It sparks the flame, but habits are the kindling that keeps it burning. Creating clear routines, stacking new habits onto existing ones, and designing your environment all reduce reliance on fluctuating motivation. The stronger your system, the less you need to depend on temporary feelings of excitement or energy. Finally, remember that motivation and habits influence each other. Motivation can initiate a habit, and as you perform the habit repeatedly, your brain begins to crave it. The habit itself generates satisfaction, momentum, and even new motivation. Over time, what once required effort and excitement becomes automatic, almost effortless. Your habits start to carry their own motivation. In conclusion, motivation is the spark that starts the journey, but it is habits and systems that sustain it. Intrinsic motivation, personal why, emotional connection, visualization, tracking progress, accountability, and repetition all contribute to habit success. By understanding the role of motivation and designing habits that support it, you can build behaviors that last, even when motivation fades. Habits and motivation together create unstoppable momentum, allowing you to achieve your goals and transform your life. Chapter 7. Consistency over perfection. One of the most important lessons in building habits and achieving success is learning to value consistency over perfection. Many people fail because they focus too much on being perfect, thinking that every action must be flawless. This mindset leads to frustration, procrastination, and ultimately quitting. In reality, consistent effort, even if imperfect, creates far more progress over time than occasional bursts of perfection. Consistency is about showing up day after day, even when you feel tired, unmotivated, or distracted. It is the steady practice that compounds into long-term results. For example, writing for 15 minutes every day may seem small, but over months and years, it leads to completed books, articles, or projects. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum is what carries you through challenges and setbacks. Perfection, on the other hand, is often the enemy of progress. Waiting for the perfect time or trying to do something flawlessly can prevent you from starting at all. Many people delay actions because they fear making mistakes or falling short of expectations. The truth is, mistakes are part of learning, and imperfect action is better than no action. By focusing on consistent effort rather than perfect results, you allow yourself to grow gradually and naturally. To cultivate consistency, it is helpful to break large goals into smaller, manageable steps. Trying to achieve too much at once can be overwhelming and lead to burnout. Small, achievable actions build confidence and reinforce the habit loop. For example, if your goal is to exercise for an hour daily, start with 10 minutes. Once 10 minutes becomes a habit, gradually increase the duration. Small steps done consistently are far more effective than sporadic bursts of extreme effort. Tracking progress is another powerful tool for maintaining consistency. When you record your daily actions, you create accountability and motivation. Habit trackers, journals, or apps can visually display your streaks, making it easier to maintain momentum. Seeing consecutive days of effort encourages you to continue and reminds you that even small steps add up. Celebrating these small wins reinforces the habit and boosts your confidence. Consistency also requires discipline and commitment. Motivation alone is unreliable because it fluctuates day to day. There will be mornings when you feel tired, afternoons when you feel distracted, or evenings when you just want to give up. On these days, discipline and consistency carry you forward. By creating a system and sticking to it, you reduce the reliance on fluctuating emotions and ensure that habits continue despite challenges. Another key to consistency is identity alignment. When your actions reflect the person you want to become, showing up consistently feels natural. For example, if you see yourself as a healthy person, exercising, eating well, and sleeping properly become automatic behaviors. Your identity reinforces your actions, and consistent behavior strengthens your self-image. This positive feedback loop makes it easier to maintain long-term habits. It is also important to accept that perfection is neither necessary nor realistic. Everyone experiences setbacks, makes mistakes, or misses a day. These moments do not define failure. They are opportunities to learn and adjust. The key is to resume the habit without guilt, focusing on the long-term trajectory rather than short-term slip-ups. Consistency means getting back on track quickly and keeping your focus on cumulative progress. Environment plays a critical role in supporting consistency. Design your surroundings to make good habits easier and reduce friction for daily action. Place reminders, cues, or tools in visible locations. Remove distractions that encourage procrastination. A supportive environment reduces resistance and makes it easier to maintain habits day after day. Finally, consistency compounds over time. Small, repeated actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but they create exponential growth in the long term. Learning a new skill, improving your health, or developing a positive mindset is not the result of one perfect day. It is the result of countless consistent efforts. By valuing consistency over perfection, you allow progress to accumulate, mistakes to teach, and habits to solidify. In conclusion, the path to success and personal growth is paved with consistent action. Perfection is a trap that delays progress, while consistent effort, no matter how small, creates real, lasting change. By breaking goals into small steps, tracking progress, Aligning habits with identity and designing a supportive environment, you can maintain momentum even when motivation fades. Remember, consistency compounds, mistakes teach, and imperfect action still moves you forward. Focus on showing up every day, and over time, the results will exceed your expectations. Chapter 8. Tracking and measuring your habits. Building habits is one thing, but tracking and measuring them is what ensures progress. Without tracking, it is easy to lose sight of your actions, underestimate your successes, or fail to notice patterns that need improvement. Tracking turns vague intentions into concrete actions, and measuring progress gives your habits purpose, momentum, and clarity. The first reason tracking is important is awareness. Many people think they are consistent, but without recording actions, it is hard to know for sure. When you track a habit, you see exactly what you are doing each day. Did you exercise for 30 minutes or 15? Did you meditate or skip it? This visibility helps you identify patterns, discover obstacles, and celebrate wins. Awareness is the first step to improvement. There are several ways to track habits. Physical journals are simple and effective. Writing down each completed habit allows you to see progress over time. You can use check marks, stars, or short notes to record completion. Seeing a streak of completed days creates motivation and reinforces the habit loop. Many people feel satisfaction just by marking a box or checking off a task. Digital tools are another option. Apps and online trackers provide reminders, progress graphs, and streak tracking. Some apps even allow social sharing, creating accountability with friends or groups. Digital tools are convenient because they automate reminders, analyze patterns, and provide insights that are hard to notice otherwise. The key is choosing a tracking method that fits your lifestyle and encourages consistency. Tracking is not just about marking completion, it is also about measuring impact. Ask yourself, is this habit helping me reach my goals? Are the results improving over time? For example, if your habit is exercising, track not only attendance but also progress in strength, endurance, or flexibility. If your habit is reading, note the number of pages or the knowledge gained. Measurement helps you see real change, which motivates continued effort. Another benefit of tracking is accountability. When you record your habits, you are holding yourself responsible. Missing a day becomes noticeable, and this can motivate you to get back on track quickly. Accountability can also be external. Share your progress with a friend, mentor, or community. People who are aware of your goals and check in on your progress help reinforce consistency and keep you focused. Tracking habits also helps in habit refinement. Not all habits work perfectly from the start. By monitoring your progress, you can adjust routines, timing, or methods to improve effectiveness. For example, if you notice that exercising in the evening leads to skipped sessions, consider moving it to the morning. Measurement allows you to optimize your habits, making them more sustainable and impactful. Streaks are a powerful motivator. Many people are motivated by seeing consecutive days of completed habits. Streaks create a psychological commitment. No one wants to break the chain. Even if a single day is missed, the streak concept encourages returning to the habit immediately. This visual representation of consistency reinforces discipline and determination. Celebrating milestones is another key aspect of tracking. Progress should be recognized, no matter how small. Celebrate completing a week, a month, or even a day of consistent effort. Positive reinforcement strengthens the habit loop and boosts motivation. Rewards do not have to be extravagant. They can be as simple as a small treat, a favorite activity, or a moment of reflection and pride. Tracking also reveals patterns and triggers. When you notice that certain days or situations lead to missed habits, you can take preventive action. For example, if stress triggers skipping a workout, you can plan an alternative activity or adjust your environment to reduce distractions. Awareness of patterns allows you to anticipate challenges and respond proactively rather than reactively. Finally, Measuring habits reinforces the connection between action and results. Habits without feedback can feel meaningless. When you track and measure, you see the tangible impact of your efforts, which encourages persistence. Whether it is improved health, increased productivity, or personal growth, tracking helps you link daily actions with long-term success. In conclusion, tracking and measuring your habits is essential for growth and sustainability. It provides awareness, accountability, optimization, motivation, and tangible results. Journals, apps, streaks, and milestone celebrations are all tools to strengthen your commitment. By turning habits into measurable actions, you take control of your personal growth, ensure progress, and make success inevitable. Tracking is not optional. It is the bridge between intention and achievement. Chapter 9. Reward systems and habit reinforcement. Rewards are a crucial part of habit formation. They give your brain a reason to repeat behaviors, turning actions into habits. Without rewards, even the best-intentioned habits can fade over time. Understanding how to use reward systems effectively helps you reinforce positive behaviors and make them automatic. Every habit works on a simple loop: cue, routine, and reward. The cue triggers the behavior, the routine is the action, and the reward provides a sense of satisfaction. When the brain receives a reward, it releases dopamine, a chemical that creates pleasure and motivation. This dopamine reinforces the habit loop, making it more likely that the behavior will be repeated in the future. The more rewarding the behavior, the stronger the habit becomes. Rewards don't have to be extravagant. They can be simple and immediate. For example, finishing a workout might be rewarded with a relaxing shower, a healthy snack, or a short break to enjoy music. The key is to associate the habit with a positive feeling, which motivates the brain to continue the behavior. Immediate rewards are especially effective because they strengthen the habit loop before the brain forgets the action. Intrinsic rewards are internal feelings of satisfaction, pride, or accomplishment. For example, reading a book every day can give you a sense of progress and learning. Completing a project at work provides pride in your competence. Intrinsic rewards are powerful because they build long-term motivation and create self-sustaining habits. When you feel good about your actions, you are naturally encouraged to repeat them. Extrinsic rewards come from outside sources, like praise, recognition, or gifts. For example, a teacher rewarding you for completing homework, or a friend congratulating you for sticking to a habit, reinforces behavior externally. Extrinsic rewards can kickstart habits, especially in the early stages, and create accountability. Over time, these can be replaced by intrinsic rewards, making the habit self-reinforcing. One effective strategy is to pair habits with enjoyable activities. This makes the habit itself rewarding and reduces resistance. For example, you might only listen to your favorite podcast while exercising or watch a short video after completing a study session. This pairing links the habit with positive feelings, making it easier to maintain consistently. Another key point is tracking progress as a reward. Checking off a habit on a tracker, seeing streaks, or noting improvements can serve as a satisfying reward in itself. The visual feedback creates a sense of accomplishment, motivating you to continue. Humans are naturally motivated by patterns, and streaks are a simple but powerful way to reinforce habits. Reward systems also help with habit replacement. When breaking bad habits, it is important to provide alternative rewards. If you are quitting snacking out of boredom, replace the routine with something enjoyable that satisfies the same craving, like going for a walk, drinking flavored water, or practicing a hobby. By giving the brain a substitute reward, the old habit loop weakens and the new behavior becomes automatic. Timing of rewards matters too. Immediate rewards are far more effective than delayed ones because the brain quickly associates the action with positive feelings. Long-term rewards are motivating but often insufficient on their own. For example, exercising daily may lead to better health in a year, but pairing it with a small immediate reward like listening to music reinforces the habit consistently in the present. Consistency in rewards is important for habit reinforcement. Irregular or unpredictable rewards can make habits harder to sustain. Predictable rewards help the brain form clear associations between action and satisfaction. Over time, as the habit becomes ingrained, the reliance on external rewards decreases, and the action itself becomes intrinsically satisfying. Finally, remember that self-recognition is a reward. Celebrating your own achievements, no matter how small, strengthens the habit loop. Reflecting on your progress, acknowledging effort, and feeling pride in your consistency reinforces positive behaviors. The combination of external and internal rewards ensures that habits are maintained and grow stronger over time. In conclusion, reward systems are the glue that binds habit formation. They reinforce the habit loop, create motivation, and help behaviors become automatic. By combining intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, pairing habits with enjoyable activities, tracking progress, and celebrating achievements, you can strengthen your habits and ensure long-term success. Rewards transform actions into habits, habits into routines, and routines into the foundation of a successful, disciplined life. Chapter 10: Overcoming Obstacles to Habit Formation. Building new habits and maintaining them over time is not always easy. Even when you are motivated, prepared, and consistent, obstacles can appear. Life is unpredictable, and challenges, whether internal or external, can threaten your progress. Understanding common obstacles and how to overcome them is essential for long-term habit success. The first obstacle is lack of motivation. Motivation naturally fluctuates from day to day. Some mornings you feel energized and ready to tackle your goals. Other times you may feel tired, stressed, or distracted. Relying solely on motivation is risky because it is not consistent. The solution is to create habits that do not depend on fleeting feelings. Focus on routines, systems, and environment design that carry you forward even when motivation is low. Small, repeated actions accumulate over time and build momentum. Procrastination is another common obstacle. Even when you know what you need to do, you might delay action. Procrastination often stems from fear, perfectionism, or feeling overwhelmed. To overcome procrastination, break tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Start with the easiest or shortest part of the task to create momentum. Once you begin, it becomes easier to continue, and the sense of accomplishment fuels further action. Overwhelm can derail habits quickly. Trying to do too much at once or set overly ambitious goals can lead to frustration and burnout. Start small. Focus on one or two key habits at a time. Once these habits are established, gradually add more. Simplifying routines and prioritizing actions reduces mental strain and increases the likelihood of success. Remember, consistency matters more than quantity. Another obstacle is environmental distractions. Your surroundings can either support or sabotage your habits. Cluttered spaces, noisy environments, or easy access to temptations make habits harder to maintain. Design your environment to reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for bad ones. For example, keep healthy snacks visible and remove junk food. Place workout clothes in plain sight, and reduce digital distractions while studying or working. Your environment can be your ally or your enemy. Choose wisely. Negative social influence is also a challenge. Friends, family, or colleagues may discourage your habits, either intentionally or unintentionally. Peer pressure, cultural norms, or lack of support can make consistency difficult. To counteract this, find supportive communities or accountability partners who share your goals. Surround yourself with people who reinforce your desired behaviors and motivate you to keep going. Positive social influence strengthens habit formation. Impatience is another obstacle. Habits take time to form, and results are often not immediately visible. Many people give up too early because they expect instant success. Understanding the concept of compounding helps overcome impatience. Small, consistent actions grow over time, producing significant results. Focus on the process rather than immediate outcomes, and trust that persistence will lead to progress. Stress and emotional challenges can interfere with habits. Stress often triggers old routines, such as overeating, procrastination, or screen time. To maintain habits under stress, develop coping strategies like mindfulness, deep breathing, journaling, or light exercise. Managing stress ensures that negative emotions do not sabotage your positive routines. Emotional resilience supports long-term habit success. Another obstacle is lack of clarity or planning. Without clear goals and defined actions, habits are difficult to maintain. Know exactly what habit you are building, why it matters, and when and how you will perform it. Specificity reduces decision fatigue, eliminates excuses, and strengthens commitment. Clear plans create predictable routines that reinforce habit formation. Relapse is normal and should be expected. Even the most disciplined people occasionally miss a day or revert to old behaviors. The key is not to give up. Analyze what caused the relapse, adjust your strategy, and return to the habit immediately. One missed day does not erase progress. Treat setbacks as lessons, not failures. Resilience and perseverance are essential for long-term success. Finally, self-doubt and limiting beliefs can block habit formation. Thoughts like "I am not disciplined enough" or "I can't do this" create mental barriers. Challenge these beliefs by focusing on small wins, celebrating progress, and affirming your capability. Your mindset influences your behavior, and building confidence is as important as building habits. In conclusion, obstacles are a natural part of the habit-building journey. Lack of motivation, procrastination, overwhelm, environmental distractions, social influence, impatience, stress, lack of clarity, relapse, and self-doubt can all challenge your progress. The key to overcoming these obstacles is planning, consistency, small steps, environmental design, supportive relationships, emotional resilience, and mindset shifts. Habits are not about perfection. They are about persistence. By anticipating challenges and preparing strategies, you can maintain your habits and achieve lasting personal growth. Chapter 11. The importance of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the backbone of habit formation and personal growth. It is the ability to control impulses, stay focused, and take consistent action, even when motivation is low. While motivation may ignite action, self-discipline sustains it. Without self-discipline, even the best intentions can fall short, and habits will fail to take root. At its core, self-discipline is about delayed gratification. It is choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. For example, studying for an exam instead of playing video games, exercising instead of lounging, or saving money instead of spending on impulsive purchases. Delayed gratification requires mental control, awareness, and commitment to your goals. Those who master it are able to achieve more consistent, meaningful success. Self-discipline is closely tied to willpower, but they are not the same. Willpower is a finite resource that can be exhausted throughout the day. Self-discipline, on the other hand, is a skill that grows stronger with practice. By developing routines, systems, and habits, you reduce reliance on willpower alone. Structured habits allow self-discipline to operate efficiently, conserving mental energy for important decisions and actions. One key aspect of self-discipline is consistency. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about showing up every day, whether you feel motivated or not. Performing the desired action reinforces habits and builds momentum. Over time, these repeated actions become automatic, requiring less conscious effort. Consistency transforms small, disciplined actions into life-changing results. Self-discipline also requires planning and preparation. Without a clear plan, even the most motivated individuals can falter. Knowing exactly what action to take, when to take it, and how to perform it reduces decision fatigue and increases the likelihood of success. For example, Preparing your workout clothes the night before, scheduling study sessions, or setting up reminders for daily habits ensures that discipline is applied consistently. Resisting temptation is another important component. Life is full of distractions and impulses that pull you away from your goals. Self-discipline allows you to pause, evaluate, and choose long-term benefits over short-term satisfaction. Techniques like environment design, habit substitution, and mindfulness help manage temptations effectively. Over time, resisting small temptations strengthens your ability to maintain self-discipline in more challenging situations. Self-discipline also builds resilience and mental toughness. Challenges, setbacks, and obstacles are inevitable, but disciplined individuals learn to push through difficulties rather than giving up. They understand that discomfort and effort are part of growth. Facing challenges consistently without abandoning their goals reinforces habits, strengthens character, and builds confidence. Another important principle is identity alignment. Self-discipline is easier when your actions reflect the person you want to become. For example, if you see yourself as a focused, disciplined, and responsible individual, maintaining productive habits aligns with your identity. Your habits reinforce this self-image, creating a feedback loop that strengthens self-discipline over time. Self-discipline is also critical for long-term goal achievement. Short-term motivation may help you start, but it is self-discipline that carries you through the months or years needed to reach significant goals. People who succeed in careers, education, health, and personal development consistently demonstrate disciplined action. They understand that results are earned through repeated effort, not occasional bursts of motivation. Breaking old habits and forming new ones also requires self-discipline. Bad habits often offer immediate rewards, while positive habits require effort before benefits are felt. Self-discipline allows you to override old routines and stick to new behaviors until they become automatic. Over time, the new habits replace the old ones, and self-discipline becomes more natural and less effortful. Finally, self-discipline is a skill that can be developed through practice. Start small by committing to manageable tasks, resisting minor temptations, and completing daily routines consistently. Gradually, as your self-discipline strengthens, you will be able to tackle larger challenges and achieve bigger goals. Like a muscle, it grows stronger with use, and the benefits compound over time. In conclusion, self-discipline is the foundation of personal growth, habit formation, and long-term success. It is the ability to delay gratification, resist temptation, stay consistent, and align actions with identity. While motivation may spark action, self-discipline sustains it through challenges, setbacks, and distractions. By practicing self-discipline daily, you build habits that support your goals, strengthen your character, and create a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Chapter 12. The role of mindset in goal achievement. Your mindset is the lens through which you view your goals, challenges, and potential. It shapes how you respond to obstacles, setbacks, and opportunities. Developing the right mindset is one of the most important factors in achieving your goals and maintaining long-term habits. While skill, effort, and strategy matter, mindset often determines whether you succeed or give up. There are two main types of mindsets: fixed mindset and growth mindset. A fixed mindset believes that abilities and intelligence are static and cannot change. People with this mindset may avoid challenges, fear failure, and give up easily. On the other hand, a growth mindset believes that skills and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. Those with a growth mindset embrace challenges, learn from mistakes, and remain resilient in the face of setbacks. A growth mindset is essential for goal achievement. Goals are rarely reached without obstacles. Challenges, mistakes, and failures are part of the journey. With a growth mindset, you see these setbacks not as signs of defeat, but as opportunities to learn and improve. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," you say, "I can't do this yet, but I will learn." This subtle shift in thinking changes how you approach challenges and fuels progress. Self-talk plays a key role in mindset. The words you use to describe yourself, your abilities, and your circumstances shape your beliefs. Positive, constructive self-talk reinforces a growth mindset, while negative self-talk fosters a fixed mindset. For example, telling yourself, "I am capable of learning this skill," is far more empowering than saying, "I'm not good at this." Mindset is not just what you think, it's how you communicate with yourself. Mindset also affects motivation and persistence. People with a fixed mindset often give up when tasks feel difficult or rewards are not immediate. A growth mindset encourages consistent effort, even when progress is slow. By believing that improvement is possible, you are more likely to persist, maintain habits, and achieve long-term goals. Motivation alone may fluctuate, but a strong mindset provides a stable foundation for action. Embracing challenges is another important aspect. Challenges push you out of your comfort zone and stimulate growth. Those with a fixed mindset avoid challenges to prevent failure, while those with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities. For example, learning a new skill may feel uncomfortable or difficult, but approaching it with a growth mindset helps you persist, experiment, and ultimately succeed. Failure is an inevitable part of progress. A growth mindset teaches that failure is not a permanent verdict, but a valuable learning experience. Analyze what went wrong, extract lessons, and apply them moving forward. This approach transforms mistakes from discouraging events into stepping stones for improvement. The difference between success and stagnation often lies in how you respond to failure. Mindset also shapes resilience. Life is unpredictable, and obstacles will always arise. People with a growth mindset maintain hope, adapt, and continue pursuing goals, even after setbacks. Resilience allows you to recover quickly, stay focused on your objectives, and avoid the discouragement that can derail progress. Mindset and resilience work together to support long-term achievement. Visualization and mental rehearsal are powerful tools to strengthen a growth mindset. By imagining yourself successfully completing tasks, overcoming obstacles, and achieving goals, you create a mental blueprint that reinforces belief in your abilities. Visualization primes your brain for success and strengthens confidence, making challenges feel more manageable. Continuous learning is a hallmark of a growth mindset. People with this mindset actively seek knowledge, skills, and feedback. They view every experience, success, and failure as an opportunity to grow. This lifelong learning approach ensures that your abilities expand over time and that you remain adaptable in the face of new challenges. Finally, mindset influences habit formation and discipline. Believing that improvement is possible increases motivation to start and maintain habits. You are more likely to be disciplined, persistent, and creative in overcoming obstacles. Mindset sets the stage for action, and repeated actions eventually build habits that support goal achievement. In conclusion, mindset is a foundational element in reaching your goals and maintaining habits. A growth mindset encourages learning, resilience, persistence, and adaptability. It transforms challenges into opportunities, failures into lessons, and effort into progress. By cultivating a growth mindset, practicing positive self-talk, embracing challenges, and committing to continuous learning, you create the mental framework necessary to achieve your goals and unlock your full potential. Your mindset is the lens through which your success is viewed, and it can make all the difference. Chapter 13. Time Management for Maximum Productivity. Time management is one of the most important skills for achieving goals and building habits. Every person has the same 24 hours in a day, but how you use that time determines your success. Learning to manage time effectively allows you to focus on what matters most, reduce stress, and increase productivity. The first step in effective time management is awareness of how you spend time. Track your daily activities for a few days to see where your hours go. Are you spending too much time on distractions like social media, TV, or unnecessary tasks? Identifying time-wasting habits helps you make conscious choices about where to invest your energy. Awareness creates a foundation for improvement. Next, prioritize your tasks using techniques like the Eisenhower matrix. This method divides tasks into 4 categories: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Focus on tasks that are important, whether urgent or not, and minimize time spent on activities that do not contribute to your goals. Prioritization ensures that your efforts have maximum impact. Planning your day is essential for effective time management. Start each day with a clear plan of what you need to accomplish. Break tasks into manageable steps and allocate specific time slots for each activity. By scheduling tasks, you reduce decision fatigue, increase focus, and ensure that important actions are not neglected. Daily planning turns intentions into structured action. Time blocking is a highly effective technique for managing focus. Assign blocks of time to specific tasks, allowing uninterrupted periods to work deeply. For example, dedicate 9:00 a.m. to 11:00 a.m. for studying or project work, followed by a short break. Time blocking creates structure, reduces multitasking, and ensures that important tasks receive adequate attention. Avoiding procrastination is another key aspect. Break large, intimidating tasks into smaller, achievable steps. Begin with the easiest or most immediate step to gain momentum. Completing small actions encourages further progress and prevents procrastination from taking over. Procrastination often results from feeling overwhelmed, so gradual steps maintain productivity. Eliminating distractions is crucial for maximizing productivity. Identify sources of distraction in your environment, such as notifications, noise, or clutter, and minimize them. For example, turn off unnecessary phone alerts. Keep your workspace organized and create a quiet environment for focused work. Reducing distractions allows your mind to concentrate fully on the task at hand. Another essential principle is setting boundaries. Respect your time by saying no to activities that do not align with your goals. Protect periods of focused work and limit interruptions from others when necessary. Boundaries prevent external demands from undermining productivity and allow you to prioritize tasks that truly matter. Batching similar tasks is an effective strategy. Group similar activities together to reduce the mental effort required to switch between tasks. For example, respond to all emails at once, make all phone calls in a dedicated period, or complete related assignments consecutively. Batching improves efficiency, reduces cognitive load, and speeds up completion of tasks. Time management also involves setting realistic goals. Overloading your schedule with too many tasks can lead to stress and burnout. Be realistic about what you can accomplish in a day, and focus on completing high-priority tasks first. Adjust your plan as needed, and remember that quality often matters more than quantity. Reviewing and reflecting on your daily and weekly progress is another key component. At the end of each day or week, evaluate what was accomplished, identify areas for improvement, and adjust future plans. Reflection allows you to learn from mistakes, refine strategies, and continuously improve your time management skills. Using tools and technology can enhance your productivity. Calendars, planners, apps, and reminders help keep track of tasks and deadlines. Automation and digital organization tools reduce mental clutter and ensure that important actions are not forgotten. Choose tools that complement your workflow and make your schedule easier to manage. Finally, remember that time management is a skill, not a one-time fix. It requires practice, reflection, and consistent effort as you develop better habits, discipline, and awareness of priorities. Managing your time becomes more natural and effective. By taking control of your time, you gain control of your life, maximize productivity, and create space to achieve your goals and enjoy personal growth. In conclusion, time management is essential for productivity, goal achievement, and personal growth. Awareness, prioritization, planning, Time blocking, avoiding distractions, setting boundaries, batching tasks, realistic goal setting, reflection, and effective use of tools are all strategies that improve how you use your time. Mastering these techniques ensures that every hour of your day contributes meaningfully to your goals, creating consistent progress and lasting success. Chapter 14. Building a supportive environment. Your environment plays a major role in shaping your habits, motivation, and overall success. The people, spaces, and tools around you can either support or sabotage your goals. Understanding how to create a supportive environment allows you to maintain consistency, reduce distractions, and make progress with less effort. A supportive environment starts with physical space. Your surroundings should be organized, functional, and conducive to the habits you want to build. For example, if you are studying, a clean, quiet, and well-lit workspace promotes focus. If you are exercising, having workout equipment accessible and visible increases the likelihood of action. Cluttered or distracting spaces can make even simple tasks harder, so designing your physical environment for success is essential. Social environment is equally important. Surround yourself with people who encourage, motivate, and inspire you. Positive social influence reinforces habits, accountability, and self-discipline. Friends, family, mentors, or communities that share your goals can provide support, feedback, and encouragement. Conversely, negative social influences, such as peers who discourage your progress or engage in habits that conflict with your goals, can undermine your efforts. Choose relationships that nurture growth. Your digital environment also matters. Technology is both a tool and a distraction. Notifications, social media, and endless entertainment can steal focus and time. Design your digital space to support productivity. Turn off unnecessary alerts, organize files and apps for easy access, and use technology intentionally to enhance your goals rather than distract from them. Apps for habit tracking, reminders, and focus can be helpful tools when used wisely. Another key aspect is habit cues and triggers. Your environment can be designed to make good habits easy and bad habits harder. For example, place healthy snacks within reach and remove junk food from your kitchen. Keep your exercise clothes and shoes visible and ready to use. Visual cues in your environment act as reminders, reducing the effort needed to start a habit and making consistency easier. Accountability partners strengthen your supportive environment. Sharing your goals and progress with someone else increases commitment. Regular check-ins, updates, or challenges create social pressure to maintain habits. Knowing someone is aware of your actions motivates you to stay consistent and accountable, especially during times of low motivation. Creating a supportive environment also involves removing friction from good habits. Make desired actions as easy as possible. For instance, pre-plan meals, lay out your study materials in advance, or schedule workouts at convenient times. The less effort required to start a habit, the more likely you are to follow through consistently. Equally, you should increase friction for bad habits. Make undesired actions harder to perform. For example, uninstall distracting apps, limit access to unhealthy snacks, or create obstacles to procrastination. By increasing the effort required for negative behaviors, you reduce their frequency and reinforce positive habits. Positive reinforcement in your environment is helpful. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals, inspirational quotes, or visual representing success. Seeing these cues regularly keeps your objectives top of mind and maintains motivation. Environments that celebrate progress and achievement help sustain long-term commitment. Flexibility and adaptability are important components of a supportive environment. Life changes, and your environment should be able to adjust. If you move, change jobs, or face unexpected circumstances, redesign your space, schedule, and habits to fit new conditions. Flexibility ensures that your environment continues to support growth rather than becoming a barrier. Finally, building a supportive environment requires intentionality. Don't leave success to chance. Design your surroundings, relationships, and tools with purpose. Every element of your environment should align with your goals, making positive behaviors easier and negative behaviors less convenient. A well-designed environment reduces reliance on motivation, increases consistency, and supports sustained progress. In conclusion, your environment is a powerful factor in habit formation, motivation, and success. Physical spaces, social networks, digital tools, habit cues, accountability systems, and intentional design all contribute to a supportive environment. By removing friction from good habits, increasing friction for bad habits, reinforcing progress, and adapting to changes, you create a setting where success becomes natural. A supportive environment does not guarantee success, but it dramatically increases the likelihood of achieving your goals and maintaining lasting habits. Chapter 15: Long-term habit sustainability. Building habits is one thing, but sustaining them over the long term is a different challenge. Many people start new routines with enthusiasm, only to abandon them weeks or months later. Long-term habit sustainability requires strategy, consistency, flexibility, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Understanding these principles ensures that your positive behaviors endure and continue to support your goals over time. The first key to habit sustainability is building strong foundations. Habits that are established gradually and intentionally are more likely to last. Start with small, achievable actions that can be performed consistently. For example, if your goal is to exercise regularly, begin with 10-15 minutes a day rather than an hour. Gradual progress builds confidence, strengthens routines, and reduces the risk of burnout. Foundations matter more than intensity at the start. Consistency over intensity is another critical principle. Long-term habits are maintained not by occasional bursts of effort, but by steady, repeated actions. Even small efforts done consistently compound into significant results over time. A single hour of exercise once a month is far less effective than a short daily routine. The focus should be on showing up every day, even when motivation fluctuates. Flexibility and adaptability are essential for sustaining habits. Life is unpredictable. Stress, illness, travel, or unexpected events can disrupt routines. Flexible habits are designed to accommodate changes. For instance, if you miss a morning workout, you can move it to the evening or shorten it rather than skipping entirely. Adaptability ensures that habits remain part of your life, even when circumstances shift. Tracking progress remains important for long-term sustainability. Regularly recording your actions and reviewing results provides feedback, reinforces consistency, and keeps you motivated. Tracking also allows you to notice patterns, identify obstacles, and make adjustments as needed. Visual evidence of progress, such as streaks or journals, strengthens commitment and reminds you why the habit is valuable. Reward systems and reinforcement continue to support long-term habits. Positive reinforcement, whether intrinsic or extrinsic, keeps habits enjoyable and satisfying. Celebrating milestones, acknowledging effort, or pairing habits with enjoyable activities encourages ongoing adherence. Even after habits become routine, occasional rewards maintain engagement and prevent boredom or complacency. Environmental support is a major factor in sustainability. Your surroundings, tools, and social networks influence the ease of maintaining habits. Design your environment to minimize friction for good habits and maximize friction for undesired behaviors. A supportive environment reduces reliance on willpower and ensures that your habits can thrive in the long term. Resilience and mindset are equally important. Long-term habits face setbacks, plateaus, and periods of low motivation. Developing resilience allows you to recover quickly, resume routines, and avoid discouragement. A growth mindset, which sees mistakes as learning opportunities, helps you maintain perspective and stay committed. Sustainable habits are those that can withstand temporary challenges without collapsing entirely. Integration with identity strengthens habit longevity. Habits are more sustainable when they become part of your self-concept. Instead of thinking, I'm trying to exercise, reframe it as, I am a healthy, active person. When habits align with identity, actions feel natural and less like a chore. Over time, habits reinforce your self-image, creating a self-perpetuating cycle of consistency. Accountability and social reinforcement remain valuable over time. Long-term habits benefit from support systems, whether through friends, family, mentors, or online communities. Sharing goals, progress, and challenges provides motivation, guidance, and encouragement. Social accountability increases adherence and creates a network of reinforcement that strengthens habit sustainability. Finally, habit review and refinement are essential. Periodically assess your habits to ensure they continue to serve your goals. Eliminate routines that no longer provide value, adjust methods that are less effective, and experiment with improvements. Long-term sustainability is not about rigid adherence. It is about evolving habits to remain relevant, effective, and aligned with your changing life circumstances. In conclusion, long-term habit sustainability requires a combination of strong foundations, consistency, flexibility, tracking, rewards, environmental support, resilience, identity alignment, social reinforcement, and periodic refinement. Habits are not static. They are dynamic behaviors that must adapt and grow over time. By applying these principles, you ensure that your positive actions endure, support your goals, and create lasting personal growth. Sustainable habits are the cornerstone of lifelong success, enabling you to achieve more, stay disciplined, and maintain balance in every area of your life.